In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the batch scheduler. This video is a little longer than my other ones, so feel free to save it to your desktop, stop, pause, listen to it in chunks. You'll want to make sure that you're in 1920, and in the cheater, type job wizard, and it takes you straight to the schedule job wizard where you set up your parameter. First tab, pull over the grade levels in your high school. It honestly doesn't matter if you have extra grade levels pulled over. So I have GR 1323. Those kids don't have course requests, so they aren't going to get scheduled anyway. You could pull the ones you don't want back over. It doesn't matter, honestly. In course terms to schedule dual select, you want to make sure you always have all the course terms pulled to the right. In the sort criteria, dual select, I want the scheduler to schedule 12th grade students first. So I'm going to move all these over to the left and then find grade level descending. So it's going to do 12, 11, 10, and 9. Section overfill, I want 10%, and that means if a course has a capacity of 20, overfill by 10 is going to allow 2 extra kids, so I would put 22 kids in a course that had a capacity of 20. Course group locking, I'm going to select lock no course groups and balance by ethnicity, no balancing. The time limit, leave this at 60. On the second tab, pass level parameters, I recommend you always have this max number of passes set to 3. So that means the scheduler is going to run through 3 times each student to try to get them a full schedule. I always leave the max number of periods today set at what it is. This school has 11 periods. I'm leaving it that way. I highly recommend you do not use any of these 4 prompts. If you're curious, read the documentation to find out more. There is a step-by-step for the batch scheduler. If you click on the question mark, it takes you to the web help. And if you go procedural checklist, there is a scheduling doc in the student section, batch scheduler, and it goes step-by-step through the tabs. On the pass control tab, tab number 3, this is where you tell the scheduler what you want to enforce. The first item, enforce course sequencing rules. This is out of order because the course sequencing rules don't appear until tab 4. Okay, so on tab 4, I have nothing, but an example of a course sequencing rule would be a student is requesting Art 1 and Art 2, and they're semesterized courses. I'm telling the scheduler on this tab that they have to have Art 1 in an earlier schedule term than Art 2. If all your courses are all year courses, or if all of your courses are all year courses, you wouldn't even bother using course sequencing rules. This is mainly for semesterized courses. If you have stuff filled out on this course sequencing rules tab, you'll want to make sure that you check all of these boxes on all passes, because if you took the time to set up the rules, you'll want to make sure you enforce them on all passes. Enforce daily pattern rules number 2 is something I would ignore. It goes along with those pass level parameter, those 4 items at the bottom on the second tab that I said do not use. So skip number 2. Enforce teacher link groups. This is another item that's out of order because teacher link groups don't appear till tab 5. So if I click over to tab 5, what a teacher link group is, let's say you have 2 biology teachers, Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Black. You have a biology 1 course and you have a biology lab, and they go together. You don't care if a student gets biology 1 first period and then the lab, it's offered 3 times and they get period 9. You just care they get the same teacher. If they have Mrs. Black for the lab, they have to have Mrs. Black for the course. And this is where you set that up. If you have stuff on the teacher link group, you'll want to make sure you enforce it on all passes. These next 3 items, 4, 5, and 6, these are 3 more to ignore, along with number 2. These coincide with these 4 prompts that I said do not use on the second tab. Number 7, allow overfilling. This, number 7, coincides with the 10% I put on tab number 1. You only want to overfill on the last pass. Only ever mark overfilling on pass number 3. So you're telling the scheduler on pass 1, the capacity is 20, put 20 kids in there. Capacities on pass 2, put 20 kids in there. Then if you need to, on the final pass to get kids scheduled, overfill. Number 8, try alternates. This is something if you're using, you only want to do on the last pass. Here's an example of an alternate. Let's say Timmy put in his course request online on the public module. He requested to take Art 4, but there was an option to enter an alternate course request, and he chose Ceramics 3. So if he can't get in Art 4, put him in Ceramics 3. So if I have students who requested alternates, I would want to only enforce that on the last pass. Number 9, this is super duper important, allow partial schedules. This has to be marked on the last pass. And what this tells the scheduler on pass number 1, try to give every kid a full schedule and honor all their course requests. On pass number 2, honor all their course requests. On pass number 3, since I have allow partials and it can't give a student a full schedule, it'll at least give them a partial schedule and fulfill some of their course requests. Number 10, order request by priority. I highly encourage you to use this option and use it on all passes. What this tells the scheduler is if a student requested a course English and it's priority 9, and then they have Spanish 2, which is a priority 5, it's going to put them in English before it schedules them into Spanish, and you want to honor that priority on all passes. Enforce requests with assigned teacher or period. Not many districts use this, but if you have filled that out on the actual request that you gave a student, that they have to have Mrs. Brown for biology, you would want to enforce that on all passes. So I'm going to click next. I'm skipping over course sequencing because we already talked about that, and I'm going over to submit because we've already talked about teacher link groups. On this tab, all you do is give it a name. So this is my 1920 BS for batch scheduler. This should be marked, set this parameter as the default. And when you run the batch, I recommend you always mark clear schedule results created by the scheduler. Let's say what that means is I run it the first time and Timmy gets a section of algebra and he gets it period 9, but he can't get 3 of his other course requests met. I do some finagling in my schedule and I move around the sections of algebra and I actually add one more. When you have this clear results created by the scheduler, then the next time you run the scheduler, it's going to shuffle all the classes. So it's going to undo his assignment into section 9 and then try to give him another one. And hopefully that other one will allow him to get all his course requests met. So you always want to mark clear results created by a scheduler. You never want to mark clear schedule results created manually, because any students that you went to their course request page and they had a request for English 10, let's say, and you turned that request into assignment and you gave them English 10 period 5. So you manually made that assignment from the course request. If you mark that box, then it's going to undo that manual assignment that you made, and you don't want to do that. I'm going to click Save, and now I'm back to all my job parameters. So these just keep building year after year, and you can delete the old ones. So this is last year's. I'm going to get rid of this one, And I also do not want this first run of tests. I have no idea what that is. I'm going to delete it. If you feel you deleted one by mistake, no worries, just reactivate it. It's not really deleted. Of course, if you have any questions, and here's where I can mark that is active and save it. If you have any questions, make us a help desk ticket and we'll be glad to assist you.